Okay, I'm now officially streaming Grim, so whatever you say is on record.
Plead the fifth.
You guys can't peek, though. You can't peek in my secrets of my character sheet. That would be rude. Although, I guess if you watched the other ones, you did already. So.
You know, I popped open one of them and just listened to it in the background and watch it. So it's basically like
Okay.
a still screen almost the entire time, and it will definitely be a still screen this entire time.
Yeah, that's how it felt the last time too. I just listened to it.
You know, I popped open one of them and so bamboozled.
Why didn't anyone tell me my voice was so annoying?
We didn't want to break it to you like that.
My voice is definitely worse.
How are we feeling about the title for that one?
Beautiful, perfect. Publish that shit.
The one where Grim did no prep. I wish that were true. I still somehow found things to prep.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Guess you can't name it that anymore.
And while we sit here and wait on people to arrive, I'll play around and figure out what music I feel like is generally good for the session. It's a little too much. Good enough. I think I'll keep with that one. Feels Ambivalence. That's the name of the song. I think it might be from Hunter x Hunter. There's
Not from
Tally.
Bleach, though.
Not this one, I don't think.
I'm mixing it up.
I've used other music from Bleach as well, but no, not this one.
Well, Grim, you're not allowed to like Bleach anymore, so pack it up.
Yeah, it's no longer allowed in Texas. Can't like anime anymore. It's illegal. 5
You
years
have a
of prison.
Crunchyroll account, government's gonna come knocking down everybody's door.
Yeah, that's it. They're gonna come arrest all of us weebs.
Yep, they're going door to door, Grim. You're next.
You played Persona? Jail. That's jail right there.
They're gonna be checking where your trophies align.
Where is Felix? Well, we don't have to wait forever for him. If he's not here, and go ahead, start with a recap at least.
Want to do your factual
I'm not,
recap first, Grim?
should I? You want me to?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm just asking.
I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I prepared a recap, and then you prepared one, so I was like, okay. Either way, it's fine.
I mean, my recap is pretty specific as to what it's pointing at. It's not like a
Yeah.
general recap.
Yep. That's fine. We'll wait just a couple more minutes on Felix. How's it going today, Tally? Or anyone else?
I relate with Tally's response.
My fart fell on the floor.
Oh, he took a taxi instead of a bus so he could get home faster. He didn't need to do that. Or the train, I guess. Sorry, not bus. Well, I guess he's home now, so he'll be on shortly. We'll just wait on him. By the way, Tally, if you've spoken at all this whole time, we haven't heard anything you've said. You feeling better today, Justin?
I am, yeah.
That's good. Time for us to ruin that for you with the darkness that is this campaign, apparently.
Yay! I was beginning to think that things were looking too good.
Don't tempt me.
We were on
I was
book one of
feeling
Harry Potter
content.
for a solid, like, half session, so.
I felt content for about 20 seconds there. You about got me.
Look, we had like an entire 6 months of you guys just screwing around at the college, all right?
Yeah, but, like, how long is that in game time?
Come on.
Oh, okay.
We've just been stuck in the last 3 days for like 3 months, is all. Don't know how that happened. Too many delays, late
Hello?
sessions, canceled sessions.
Hello?
She's arrived.
Hello.
Ah, excellent. Technical difficulties.
As is tradition.
I was like, why? Why is this not working? And then I realized I didn't plug my headset in all the way, and that's why it's not working.
Makes sense. Happens to
Sure
the best
enough.
of us.
Yep, definitely makes it harder to talk when your microphone isn't plugged in properly.
That is true.
Why is your thumbnail near Automata? I just
I didn't
realized.
set a thumbnail. So
Oh.
that's just my profile banner, I think.
Oh, I see. Why is your profile banner near Automata?
I like Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm.
You be careful with that. You know that shit's illegal in Texas.
That's true.
No, Nier Automata's fine.
It doesn't matter if the age appears like it could be.
You think 2B looks like she could even vaguely be construed as a teenager?
Look, it's Texas. They didn't set any sort of. It's very broad. No restrictions on that ruling.
Look,
Like
2B was
95%
built
the
around
fucking
peak
dog
MILF.
there.
Okay?
All right. Talking about stupid Texas law aside, let's get started.
He said, I don't need any more depression. Can we play?
All right, I'm gonna read this factual recap, and then Oral will read his in-game recap. The disappearances in Mirrodin have only grown in number. Victims vanish without a trace, or worse, turn up pale, bloodless, and marked by bite wounds. At the center of this tangled web is a cryptic message left by Callus and Ravenikin before she disappeared. Follow the rats. You've pursued that phrase across alleyways and informants from mineshafts to vampiric castles. Recently, the trail led to Lowtown Looms, a rotting warehouse where something monstrous had nested. There you fought off twisted vampiric rats and uncovered the corpse of a cultist who had tried to perform a ritual in Otomos' name. Barrels of goat's blood arranged like offering. The implications, horrifying. As you regrouped outside the warehouse, the world lurched sideways. Listen carefully. Aaron is gone. Navarro's clinic attacked. I don't know who. Everything's on fire. And then the sending stone cut out. You ran. Dr. Vicente Navarro, a local physician, had saved Aaron Vallis' life days earlier after a near-fatal injury. A saint in his neighborhood, known for his kindness and tireless care, especially for his young daughter Sophia, afflicted with the rare Aravinan spell plague. Her drawings, uncanny in detail, still linger in your minds. But now, Navarro's clinic was in flames. The street was thick with smoke. Locals shouted about the fire spreading. None had seen Navarro or Sophia. Investigating the scene, you uncovered 4 new leads in your investigation. First, a drunk witness, after some coaxing, claimed he saw Gareth Blackthorn, infamous leader of the Heralds of Reversion, emerging from the fire. But Gareth had changed. His body was wrapped in chains and he moved like a predator on a hunt. Second, Elias recovered what appeared to be Dr. Navarro's personal diary from the clinic's upper offices just before the flames consumed the rest of the building. Third, Nura found one of Sophia's prophetic drawings hidden among the rubble. It showed Callison, chained and bloodless, suspended in a sterile cell lined with vials, her face hollow, her fate uncertain. Fourth, inside the burning structure you found Aaron Vallis, hung from the rafters, skull cracked open, a traitor's mark carved into his cheek. A rat. Finally, as you pushed your way through the rubble, you found Theron Mourngrave, injured and half-buried. "I can't feel my legs," he whispered. A whisper that grew into frantic screams as he was pulled into the streets beyond the fire. Words that triggered something deep within Oral. Oral collapsed, gripped by memory and trauma. Nura tried to intervene, casting healing magics and drawing both Theron and Oral toward her peaceful desert vision, but to no avail. Oral suffered through a vision of his own past, of betrayal, blood, and a mentor who left him broken. And as Theron's voice rang out, "I can't feel my legs," so too did those same words echo through Oral's own throat before he fell from consciousness. Oral.
All right. When I came to, I realized I'd somehow been placed into my bed, waking up in a sweat. The thought of who'd carried me there was barely a whisper in my mind. When I hurried to check myself over, I realized that there hadn't been much care taken in my placement. While somebody did appear to make an effort, the steps I take to not wake up with injuries were not properly taken. The thought of Theron's words from before I fell into myself were met by a numb throbbing where my prosthetics were left on overnight. I could hear his words over and over in my head, burning themselves deeper and deeper as I continued to stare at and wish to put off what I knew I must do next. As I pulled off my leg and inspected the fresh wounds, I felt myself drawn unwillingly back to the events of the prior day, and even further on my all too frequent trips back to the feelings of when I was but a child. To memories and feelings that I lock away, to not force upon myself or others. This time, however, as opposed to feeling the cold isolation, of which I normally associate whenever I find myself back in the prison of my own mind, this time I felt like I wasn't quite alone, like there was a distant hand reaching to pull me back. I removed my prosthetic arm and chuckled to myself faintly as I looked down at it in the dim, cold light of a time slightly before the break of dawn. Because I know that it is a hand I could never take, to a warmth I know I could never deserve.
All right. It's an interesting rumination. We're actually going to take a step backwards in time to the night of the incident itself. There's a few other things I want to touch on before we step forward. As the smoke rises above the ruined clinic, the crowd begins to part, not from panic, but from precision. 2 figures weave through the gathering like blades through water. One wears a long dark coat over subtle armor, carrying a satchel and a small stone in one hand. The other stands motionless near the edge of the crowd, hands folded, eyes watching everything. Neither wears a uniform, yet both carry an authority no one questions. They step lightly through the ash, boots barely making a sound on the broken cobblestone. When the first one approaches you, he speaks without hesitation. Odin, Saint Castile Cartoneau. And he looks at you, Odin.
Odin's just still on the ground, covered in blood and viscera, like starfishing, looking straight up to the sky. He literally is he's like collapsed and is probably in a little bit of shock.
The man gets down on his knee and he hovers his hand over you and seems to cast some kind of healing magics. You feel the warmth of what you would recognize as lesser restoration.
I'll take a moment and turn, still laying there, but turn my head and look at whoever it is.
It is a man in a long dark cloak. His face is nondescript. He looks very plain. Hair is sort of combed back, oiled, slick. He offers a black leather gloved hand towards you to help you up.
I'll take it.
And he'll help you up, and as he does a very simple sign, like almost like a flick of his finger, and casts prestidigitation to sort of clean some of the viscera from you. He's not cleaned you completely, but enough to where you can see and he can see your face.
I'll like look down at my hands as the blood is sort of peeled away magically, and I'll look back up and I'll just ask him to identify yourself.
The man who addresses you is lean, sharp-figured, with silver thread woven into the collar of his cloak. Everything he does is practical. Steps measured, gaze calculating. He carries a wax-sealed journal, and he's immediately, as soon as he's helped you, begun taking notes. He's turned away from you as you ask this question, and is writing notes, examining the structure. And he turns with a purposefully slow gaze back to you. We have been sent by friend.
Caden sent you.
He nods and continues writing. Can you confirm? Is there anyone else still inside?
I'll turn back and look at the building, still on fire, I presume, and shake my head.
Yeah, it's a raging, roaring fire.
I do not think so.
And as you respond, he nods sharply as if he was waiting for this. And then he taps the sending stone in his hand. He speaks softly into it. You can give me a perception if you like.
Jeez.
Yeah. What was that noise? Does it sound like a toilet?
That's what it was.
You rolled a natural one.
That was my D&D Beyond telling me that I fail at everything.
Oh, it did. That's good.
What a rude thing to do.
The dice that I have active on D&D Beyond have like special effects for when you roll a 20 or a 1.
I see. That's
and you
good.
get this really ominous sounding effect when you roll a 1.
I see. Well, yeah, with a 1 you don't hear what he says, but you do notice the other figure sort of, or maybe you wouldn't, like you're just sort of barely standing, sort of still getting your bearings, but everyone else is welcome. Anyone who's present and capable, I suppose, is able to give a perception. So not oral either.
So, probably not me because I'm busy at the moment.
I figured as much as well. So again, Elias, if you want to, Malakar, if you want to, but neither of you have to.
I'm too busy taking notes of the body.
Well,
I'm rejoining as a player.
Nice.
Nice. $478. That's is that situational godhood? Like, what is that?
Yeah. I figure since I'm passed out, I can kind of sense everything.
Odin, you feel like you're sort of in a dreamlike stance almost as this man speaks into the sending stone, and suddenly a dark storm cloud appears above the building and begins to douse it in water. Dark storm clouds churn overhead, and a sudden deluge begins to fall, soaking the street in seconds and snuffling out what remains of the fire. The screams give way to murmurs. The rain hides the smell of smoke, not the tension. Just as the flames fully give way to steam, another figure bursts into the scene at a full sprint. Caden arrives, hair plastered to his forehead, a coat half unbuttoned, chest heaving. It's unclear whether he's drenched in sweat, rain, or both. His eyes land on you, Odin, wide with relief and confusion. Before he can speak, the note-taking agent steps forward. You have a moment to respond here.
I think before he steps forward and before Caden arrives, but after the rain cloud has been summoned, I'll just gesture to the guy that that these are the remains of Aaron Vallis, and we wish to return them to the academy.
He nods and quickly jots down a note into his journal.
But I don't think. I mean, I'm gonna ride the coattails of that critical fail perception. I don't think I noticed Caden show up just yet.
Fair enough. It's sort of all a blur, a fumble, as you see the man before you after he writes a few more notes, taking down what you said about Aaron Vallis, gathering in a few other details of the scene. You hear him talking into his sending stone a couple of times. He takes this journal and he sort of pulls a leather strap across the front of it, and as if with like a sudden pop of magic, the journal transforms into a sealed envelope with a sigil on it. You can give me a history check, Odin. Well, damn. You recognize a sunrise crest pressed into it. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say it's going to be one of those kind of days.
Yeah, 1s and 20s, I guess.
Whee!
This was the important thing to not roll bad on, I guess. You needed a DC 20 to beat this one, so good job. The sunrise crest pressed into the wax seal on the envelope flashes in fading light. The sun rising behind gray clouds. You've seen it before. You recall a page in a book of Avalonian lineage, not a formal coat of arms, but an old, forgotten bastard's sigil. You don't remember the name, but you know it was once tied to the Lionheart royal line. And as you notice this, you see this man get down on his knees, or on his one knee, as Caden approaches. He says, "Initial incident and field summary, sir." Then the man bows at the waist, not deeply, but with a sharp military precision. His left fist crosses his chest in a half salute. the back of his palm revealing the same small sunburst crests etched into his glove, a sunrise emerging from behind a cloud cover. Then, both agents turn in tandem and move toward the alley. One vanishes around a corner and the other fades into the thinning crowd. They do not look back. Caden steps towards you.
I'll turn
Odin.
I'll turn towards him. I'll say, "Thank you for coming so quickly."
Well, of course, you weren't very specific. You just said to send help. I didn't know what to expect. He looks around. He looks at the building, which has clearly been put out, and then he looks at Aaron Wallace, and he sort of covers his mouth and his nose.
The situation is more complicated than I think we originally believed. Whatever is happening here, it is above us. And I'll gesture to the rest of our group.
He nods slowly. His eyes grow wide. He looks over as he sees Oral, presumably at this point still writhing on the ground. Nura trying to tend to him. I'm not sure what Elias and Malachar are doing at this time.
Malachar's just watching the smoke steam come off of the building. Probably deep in thought.
Elias?
I have to quickly finish my notes before my notebook becomes soaking wet.
That's fair. Yeah, but I mean, he looks around, he looks at all of your companions, he looks back at you, and he'll place a shoulder on your hand, Odin. He'll say, "Well, I can tell you've been through a lot these past few days. We can talk about the investigation more once you've had a moment." Sorry?
Odin nods to him.
We should get you out of here. Get all of you out of here. Okay. And he holds up a hand, like, into the air. And as he does, 4 cloaked figures come out of the shadows. You hadn't noticed them being there before. 2 of them walk towards where you see Oral and Nura are, and they walk over, and Nura, you hear one of them sort of whisper from behind you. Like it's almost like they whisper, but then it becomes legible, loud as they squat next to you. "We are here to assist. We should get him back to the college as soon as possible." And the other procures a stretcher, as if from thin air, pulling it out from what appears to be a bag of holding.
You may need 2.
Yeah, and as you say that, you sort of, I don't know if you're looking actively at Aaron or if you've sort of turned to watch all this, but you can see the other 2 figure doing the same.
Actually, you may need 3.
Caden next to you sort of chuckles, and he puts an arm around your shoulder.
Not for me. No, I'm talking about Theron. You have Aaron, you have Theron, and you have Oral, all who can't walk.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. He frowns, and he'll like whisper to one of the cloaked figures, who sort of steps away for a moment. And not too long later, a couple minutes go by, 2 more figures appear. All right. Well, let's get you back to the school. And that's where we'll end that scene. As you all get back to the school, you're free to go your own separate ways, but in essence, Oral is taken to the infirmary along with Theron. Nura, I believe it was established, will be staying at the infirmary. Serafina also will be here. So for Elias and Malachar first, what are you two doing?
Malachar would have probably misted himself back. I mean, he could probably move faster that way anyway.
Fair enough.
He's just gonna go and sit in his room and just kind of brood. I mean, he's trying to figure out where the hell he's supposed to go, but he's not really sure. I want him to look like inwardly though, and I'm going to have him pick up one of the shards of like the broken mirror.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have him put his crest towards it and have it do that thing from before.
Yeah.
So that he sees quote unquote other him.
You see this other version of you, unmoving still, as if frozen in time or space in the mirror.
He's going to stare for a long moment. So that he'll kind of laugh a little. I sought this for so long. I gave up on everything else just for this. And yet you still evade me. He shakes his head. And he's going to softly mutter, I denounce you. And he's going to drop the mirror. And he's going to unsummon his sword.
As the mirror sort of clatters to the ground and sort of, you would expect it maybe to shatter, maybe. You could also believe it if it just sort of clattered to the ground and doesn't like break. But it seems to shatter into a million pieces, as if into a dust.
It disintegrates.
In essence, it turns into this fine mist that sort of floats in the air for a moment, glistening in the light of your symbol before it dissipates. And,
He's going to go to the temple. Well, if nothing else happens, he's going to head to the temple.
As you step out of your room, you turn to leave to leave campus, but you hear a familiar voice call out from behind you. Oi, I got something for you. That's my best Hamir, sorry.
You did your best.
As you turn, you see Hamir, a little dustier than normal, walking briskly with a folded note in one hand. He hands it. Yeah, hands it to you. It's from Axel. You can read that later.
Yeah, he'll tuck it away in his coat.
We just spoke to Grimshaw, and he's prepping the rat thing, but it's going to take some time. Said you should come to his office tomorrow. Well, I guess that would be today now. Anyway, he's never cracked open an animal's mind before. Said it's going to be a real delicate work. He, Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to have him say I'll head there now, I guess.
Well, he asked for Nura specifically. He said he needs her, I don't know, connective presence? I think were his words.
He crosses his arms, so you expect me to go find it.
Well, he said he wanted you there too. That's why that's why I'm
He
here.
puts his hand out and kind of motions. Yes, I'll go find Nira. Thank you.
Well, anyway, I'm off. I'm gonna go find Caden. Looking into another angle on the disappearances. You'll find
He nods.
Grimshaw in his usual crypt. I mean, office.
That was over the
What a thing to
table
say to the
laughter.
vampire.
Yeah.
Sitting there like, excuse me?
He's got a layer 2? That's awesome.
That's a Hamir kind of joke, I thought. Competition's not here, but he would be proud, I'm sure. And with a quick wave, he turns to leave.
I'm fairly certain I heard that Nura was gonna head to the medics. The what is that called?
You would know
nurses?
or expect that she would go with Oral and Theron and Seraphina to the medical.
Okay, I'll head that way then.
Okay. At this point, it's still very late at night. Oral's still asleep. We'll cut back to what you guys do here then. Elias, what are you gonna do? In the immediate after effect.
Where are they taking the body?
The body. I don't really have a specific place for the body. There's
Somewhere
probably
the university or somewhere else.
It was requested specifically to take it to the university, to the academy. There's probably a place somewhere in the College of Archon where they store cadavers for research or something of that nature. Somewhere where they won't rot, where they can repose the corpses, and that's where they'll take the body.
To take the body, we arrive at the university, but can I ask for permission to still examine the body to finish my notes if they're late?
Yeah, they'll let you do that.
And if I'm like kind of alone, I continue taking my notes, and without like prying eyes,
I want to stop you for just a second here, Felix.
Yes.
Can you check and make sure your mic is plugged all the way in?
Oh, yeah. What if maybe it's my window settings? Give me a second. Just a second.
Yeah.
I was trying to like fix my locksmith. Okay, it's all the way up. Is it better now?
Well, the problem is I can hear you. It just sounds like there's like a vibrating gravel to your voice. It's the kind of sound you hear whenever a mic's.
Give me a second.
I think that might just be his voice.
No, this doesn't sound normal. Maybe it's only on my end, but I hear it. Does anybody else hear it?
I don't think so. It just sounds like Felix.
Oh. What about now? I don't know.
It sounds normal-ish now. Let me leave and come back. It might be on my end, but I don't know. I don't hear from Felix. All right. Sorry, keep going.
You were trash talking the entire time you were going.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 2 seconds.
Does it sound, not even seconds, does it sound kind of better?
I think it sounds fine. Keep going.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna like continue taking my notes, and when I'm finished, I will like still be there because of the silence, dead silence, and I'm gonna take out the Navarro's note diary, and I'm gonna start from like the latest entries first, and then going backwards.
Interesting.
Maybe,
okay.
Yeah, like maybe I don't know if it has like an entry on the last day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me. I've got some descriptions for you.
Okay.
The leather-bound book journal bears no title, just a slight indentation where a gilded nameplate might have once sat. Pages smell of ink and medicine, one edge scorched from the clinic fire. As you open it, you're greeted not with confession or conspiracy, but with order. Tidy script, charts, notes, precise, calculated, cold. The diary is split into sections. You've got patient charts, daily appointments, and private musings hidden in the margin notes. At first glance, it's unremarkable, mundane even.
Mm-hmm.
But the deeper you go, more it scratches at your instinctive curiosity. So where would you want to start at the end?
Yep.
So towards the end of this journal, you can see there are what appear to be just the latest patient records. People coming in to the what do you call it, to the clinic. Notes about returning patients, prescriptions, things of that nature. As you look a little bit further back into the past, give me an investigation.
Damn it. Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah.
14's good enough. As you're skimming across the last couple of weeks of records, you've seen fever case, post-surgical notes, reagent stock restocks. Nothing stands out until you reach the week Aaron Wallace was operated on. There's no mention of the surgery, no emergency slot, not even his initials.
Also, like a quick observation, in general entries, is there like any like words that don't fit in, random capital letters? You know, trying to find him is like
Like code or something?
there's a code like hidden, kinda.
I think the first thing that might stand out to you in that regard, give me another investigation.
Yeah.
And I'll say you'll have advantage. I'll give you one. Do one more roll. Yeah. 12. Still fine. Still good enough. I mean, you sort of know what you're looking for, and you find yourself looking for capital letters for some kind of coded message or something. You know, I don't know what exactly you're looking for specifically, but what does catch your eye are some of the notes in the margins, such as in the margins, like out at the edge, like almost written sideways and in sort of a scrawl that doesn't really match the very neat, orderly notes in the journal itself. You see, subject shows improved resonance uptake following prolonged initiation exposure. I posted it in chat for you.
Is that on the Valen entry or the empty one?
It's just you're just looking through the journal. It's actually it would be a couple weeks back into the journal, just looking at the dates associated with when it was written.
Is that associated with a patient?
It's written along the edge of a page that spans actually maybe 2 or 3 days. I mean,
Under a
with that
patient or in
investigation,
general, in several like.
it's like it's in the margins. I guess the way to describe this is if you know what what do you call paper that's lined paper. You know how on lined paper you can write on the lines, but off to the side you've got the little margin where you can put little tiny notes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like a random margin note you found while flipping through his notes. It doesn't seem to be necessarily tied to a patient, from what you can tell. it seems like maybe a thought he had that day that he wrote down while he was doing something else.
On those entries, I'm gonna like note down on my notes the message, of course, and the dates,
Mhm.
the span, and like the patients across those entries, the patient names. I mean, maybe trying to figure things out, but not right now. Just taking
Good
notes.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay. One other thing you find as you're sort of flipping through, looking for abnormalities, you almost flip past it, but then you notice there's a page, well, really 2 page spread, where there's like a heavy smudge as if an ink pot has been spilled onto the page. It's clear to you that this has been done purposefully as if to obscure what was written on these pages.
Redacted.
So to figure things out, I have an idea, but I don't know if it's gonna work, and also it sounds stupid.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Always
Since I'm like next to the body, I'm I'm gonna try and pick something short up, almost like a coal from the body, maybe like a little fabric, something that would leave out like black residue.
And he was
And
torched, so you could probably find some burnt
yeah,
parts.
and I'm gonna like to the next page. I'm gonna like smear the coal substance around, trying to like if he wrote something
You're
with a
trying to get an
pen.
The rubbing?
imprint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he wrote something with a pen, and the smudge is not like with a pen, and like if he like spills something, maybe the imprint of the previous page will show up.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a
Sleight of hand,
performance.
performance.
Sleight of
Okay.
hand works too. Performance or sleight of hand, either one.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, yeah, you managed to get a pretty good rubbing and an imprint of what was on the pages. And with that nat 20, we'll say you're pretty easily able to make a difference between what is written on the page you're looking at and what's written on the back of that same page,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of piece together what therefore must be written on the page that's been marked out. There's a whole lot of mostly meaningless jargon here. It's like a medical jargon that doesn't really seem to mean anything. But one passage sort of stands out to you. Copy this in the chat here.
Yep.
Tolerance threshold increased across a recursive engagement. No signs of rejection. Framework holding stable beyond expected cycles. And it's circled twice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, his disappearance is too convenient. That's what I'm thinking. And yeah, I'm writing things down as well. And but I'm gonna continue like skipping through, and also if I want to find like a specific name, is it organized enough to find it easily, kinda?
So you're trying to find like a repeated name, or like you're looking for like an index?
Like
It's not like a table of contents or anything.
yeah, I want to find
He's pretty
if
well organized, but
if he has like an entry on his daughter.
you can see in the margins. There's a few times he mentions Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the times he mentions Sophia, you see another name pop up. It says something about Sophia is her condition has worsened, and then beneath that mentions Evelyn suggests applications of layered metaphysical thresholds to offset spiritual displacement, preparing stabilizing invocations. Let me post that for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You can give me an insight.
Yeah. Insight. Damn it.
I'll also allow a Arcana or Religion if you want to give me another roll, one or the other, not both.
Let's go with Arcana then.
Okay, yeah, with a 17, most of this again is very jargon filled.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a history
if
major.
if you've read a doctor's like notes, I mean, yeah, fits the bill. But layered metaphysical thresholds to offset spiritual displacement. When you put that in the context of Sophia,
Is it almost like soul, something with to do with soul?
yeah, that's exactly the sort of where this takes you. Putting that in the context of this is talking about Sophia, you're able to piece together that whatever he's talking to this Eveline about likely has something to do with the Arabinan spell plague.
Maybe like the my only like connection, like realization is maybe he's looking for a new body. Maybe.
Give me a history check.
Yes. History. Damn it.
Yeah, that doesn't get you anywhere. You just sort of try and recall, like, where have you heard about?
So because of my background, which is Sage, I'm a librarian. If I don't recall a specific thing, I can recall the book I've read it, so I can go look it up later.
That's fair. Okay. You very simply, you think that you should search for a religious text dealing with the Arabinan spell plague.
Spell plague.
The Arabinan spell plague.
I only did one mistake on that. I started with E instead of A. Oh, good.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else you would like to look for in here?
So you said on the dates that Valen came in, it was like kind of empty, at least like with details.
I would say it was. I wouldn't say it's empty. I would say that there's no mention of Aaron Voss. Like he just skips over that in his journal.
Okay. Oh, good. I think that's enough. But yeah, I'm going back to I don't know where. Do I know that we have a meeting? Do I know that I need to like?
You know that there's going to be a roundtable meeting.
In the morning?
No, and later in the afternoon. You also know that Odin and Axel had both suggested, and I think Malachar as well, meeting up at some point just to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Then since I know that, I'm gonna go to the infirmary and check how they're doing, and hoping that we're gonna gather there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's cut back to Odin and Caden. Odin, as Caden personally helps you back to the College of Artifice to your room, unless you want to go somewhere else.
I think along the way I would tell him I need to find Hammond.
He nods, and again he sort of raises a hand, and sort of unconsciously you notice as another one of these sort of shadowy figures appears beside him. Just whispers something to him, and the shadowy figure disappears. All right. Well, let's get you back to your room, and we'll have Hammond.
Have you learned anything since we last spoke about these missing persons? Anything new at all?
He
Curiosities, anything?
He nods. I did look a little bit further into the mines. Well, it looks like the man we were searching after, he up and left his family. He was offered a new job working out of one of the casinos. They offered him a sum he couldn't confuse, and he left his family behind, the bastard. Unrelated to the task at hand, unfortunately.
Remind me again what we also learned about the casino. That there was something happening. I remember I sent a spy inside, and the man that he was following was the man that walked out that I had my clockwork spy follow and lost track of.
Yeah, so there's a few things that happened there. Somebody had suggested, I think probably Malachar, maybe Axel, had suggested looking underneath the vampire Duke's castle.
I think it was me.
And to see if that there might be some sort of connection between his castle on the surface of the mountain and the undersurface, or the undercity. And it led you to a red light district. And from that red light district, Odin, you went inside of and investigated a nearby, I think it was a club. And it was with your drone.
I managed to get the drone in a backroom meeting of some sort, but I can't remember exactly what was spoken in that backroom meeting.
And in that backroom meeting, it was just discussed about how there was a deal and how there was going to be a lot of movement, how there was a deal to take place at the casino, and then somebody, I think Malachar, spoke to some of the local bats in his vampiric form, and the bats said that they had smelled some funny stuff around the casino. And when Malachar went to look, he saw that one of the Harabel statues was found outside that casino. And that Harabel statue, you recognize from before, Oral and Hamir had investigated. I think Odin was there as well. But maybe Odin was not there that game or that session. But
Odin was there with them, but I was not present.
You were not there, yeah. Mm-hmm. But those statues have these large built-in sort of cubbies, as if meant to store a thing the size of a person.
Yeah.
So that's where that went. And he mentions this casino, and as he mentions the casino by name, I don't know if I've got it written down.
Silver something. It was silver something.
I'm just pulling it up on the map because I don't have it easily accessible. It's Silver Eclipse Casino. Yep. And he does, Caden does mention the Silver Eclipse is where this missing miner went to work.
Oh, I'll absolutely, as he mentions that, I'll tell him everything that we've learned. that I assume that he doesn't know. Tell him about the backroom deal. There was a man. I'll try to describe him as best as I can physically to Caden. Taking part in some sort of backroom deal, and it had to do with the silver eclipse and the contraptions being fashioned out of Arabelle's curiosities. There's an open house scheduled for Monday, I believe, in 2 days' time? I don't have the calendar right in front of me. 2 days' time.
It's in the game.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I have it now. So today's Saturday, right? The 49th.
Yeah, it's the start of Saturday.
Yeah. So in 2 days' time, there's an open house at Arabelle's Curiosities. Whatever Oral and Ymir and myself might not have been able to uncover our first go around there, we might consider returning. I do think I offered retroactively, since I wasn't here, but saying what Odin would have done, I would have maybe offered some sort of hinted at it, like a business deal or something, about because Odin's history with his family being artificers and craftsmen. Did I talk with you about that?
Sorry. Repeat your question. You were sort of fumbling through your words, so I wasn't sure what you're asking.
I was explaining. I sort of half jumped out of IC into OOC. I was explaining everything to Caden, but I'm asking you. The day that Oral, Hamir, and myself were in Harabelle's Curiosities, I then, after coming back, after in the next session, or I talked with you privately at some point, talked about having Odin approach the person behind the desk or the proprietor of Harabelle's about a potential collaboration, essentially.
Oh, that's right.
Odin's part of a craftsman merchant kind of family. Of artificers and just gold workers. His father
yes
owns
so
gold
I believe what happened with that is the people at the desk couldn't make such a deal, but they expressed interest and suggested that you make a written proposal.
Knowing that, I think I'll sort of gauge Caden's opinion, I guess, or get his thoughts on potentially opening up a collaboration as a front to learn more information. He's the private investigator / spy, so I think he might have better ideas as to how to go about doing that. While I kind of front this is just a creative collaborative effort.
He sort of rubs his chin and thinks about it. Well, I suppose you could do that. That would be one way of finding out what they're up to, but it would potentially sully your family's name if it does turn out that they are in fact up to no good. Perhaps it would be best to try this open house route first.
The collaboration would not be in good faith. It would simply be a means of exposing their wrongdoings.
He nods. Perhaps, yes, if you want to run this as a sting, I might have ways of helping with this. If it is on the scale that I believe it is, then we truly do need to crack down on these criminals.
As I said, there is something greater happening in Mirden. And when I say great, I mean this is something that should be brought to the king's attention.
Give me an insight. Okay. With an 8, you see Caden visibly recoil as you mention the king.
What is it?
He shakes his head. No, a sudden realization. It's fine. It's nothing.
I think I'll then proceed to tell him about everything that happened in the Lowtown Looms, about the rats, about
Right. All this time, he's helped you back to your room, and he's like, while in between, I assume in between you like telling him all this, he's like urging you to like clean yourself and take a shower. Like he'll wait around for you or something. Like
You stink.
You smell bad and you literally sound and look like a crazy person. Please.
I think Odin just looks
Fuck.
at his like he's like wearing just black form-fitting pants and like a puffy white shirt that is pretty much red now. Right. There's more to discuss. If you wait, we can speak.
He nods. I'll be here. Don't worry.
All right. I guess I'll go take a shower then.
All right. You take a shower. You get cleaned up. You're no longer covered in blood and viscera, and no longer stink. And as you come out, you see he is sort of sat at the balcony, sort of looking wistfully over the moon. And he seems to be fidgeting with your puzzle cube.
I'll just come and stand next to him on the balcony and like first of all, I'm kind of off put that he's touching my stuff. But I won't say anything. I'll just watch what he does with it. But there is a moment where Odin is like, "Okay, help yourself."
Yeah, he sort of turns and notices your presence, and he'll put the cube down on the table and says, "Oh, sorry, I was just passing the time."
I don't know what this is. My father gave it to me. I think it's just some simple game, but I haven't yet to figure it out.
Everything looks like a simple game in life, in context. I'm sure your father gave it to you with some deeper intent.
Odin just shrugs.
Your father is not a simple man. Give me an insight. With a 16, you get the feeling that he knows this personally.
You know my father?
His face turns a little bit red, and he sort of shrugs and tries to change the conversation. Oh, while you were in the shower, I've heard back from him, and he should be here shortly.
I just like sus boots the house down. I look him up and down. I'm like, who are you? Like, what's your deal? I just nod though to his comment on Hammond returning. I do want to stress the importance, though. Odin will return to speaking about Lowtown Looms and the rats, and how we captured one, took it back alive. It's been given to Grimshaw. I think at this point I'll ask him. Is this something that you would advise? Do you know Grimshaw?
He nods and says, "I've had a few encounters with the man. He's quite mysterious. I wouldn't trust him with personal matters, but he seems straightforward enough."
There are some within our circle who do not trust him implicitly.
He nods and says, "Well, I can understand why with the powers that he wields."
What do you know of powers? I've only seen a glimpse of them.
From what I understand, and in my line of work, his area of research is delving into memories. He also has a bent for dark magic's curses. The magics that he researches, that he works on, these are things that are barely within the realm of legality. He is very much a dark mage, as you would say.
And yet he is allowed to teach here, so that must count for something.
He nods. I don't get the sense that he is a bad man. It's just... well, he is like your friend Malachar, I suppose. Well, enough of this. I believe your friends have gathered and Hammond is waiting. And he turns and gestures towards the door of your sort of suite. And you can see Hammond is standing there.
I'll gesture to Caden just to give me just a moment, please, and I'll walk away from him and towards Hammond.
Yeah, he
Sort of
stands
towards
there.
the corner of the room where I'm out of earshot, or at least I think I'm out of earshot.
Yeah, he stands at the balcony. He doesn't follow after you. Master Odin, it is good to see you are well.
I take it you have heard?
I've put a few things together, yes.
And Valis is dead.
He nods slowly and has a grim look on his face.
Have you learned anything of Bastian or the Lady Aridia, Countess Aridia?
He nods and he'll hand you a sort of a what you would call a memo, I guess. It's like a half a page of just summary of what their movements have been. Nothing really of note. Seems like they've been lying low recently. They put out their family's condolences for the death of the king, but they show no signs of movement, them nor their father.
And what of Evaru itself? Have you heard anything?
He nods. Things are tense. There are talks about, on the streets openly now, of who will take the throne. The Manon Divisé have been seen making more public appearances as of late. But there are even cries now amongst the public that they do not belong on the throne.
Have there been any reports of the lower caste causing disturbances?
He shakes his head. No, but I have gathered that the words of the Heralds of Reversion have reached the lands of Everu. There have been no riots, no upswelling of any sort, but I fear that it might come sooner than later.
We are blessed with the good fortune of knowing this could be an issue before it actually becomes one. So I think if we move correctly, we might be able to counter any said uprisings.
He nods. I have been in contact with your father and other members of the Round Table. It sounds as if the senior members of the Round Table have been working around the clock on this very issue.
Very well. Thank you, Hammond. I'm tired. That'll be all for this evening.
He nods and he'll step outside and say, "Very well. I have a few tasks to attend to then." And he'll step outside.
I'll look back to Caden and I guess either nod to him or gesture him over, or walk back to him, I suppose, out onto the balcony.
Okay.
I feel like I have so many questions, and I have yet to had the time to actually formulate them.
He nods. Perhaps it would be best to gather your friends.
Oh, that will happen in
Right.
time anyway. I don't. That is a given to me, but I feel restless. I don't know. And Odin will reach out and take the puzzle cube and actually probably start to fidget with it.
Yeah. You can give me a Tinker's Tool check.
One second.
I think we had that set up for you. I don't remember.
Huh?
Or whatever equivalent check you have. I don't remember what we were using for you.
I can roll Tinker's Tools in Roll20, but for some reason I can't roll it from D&D Beyond, so I just had to open it.
Ah.
I had to open up my character sheet in Roll20.
There you go. With a 15, you seem to make a little bit more progress. It's again several locking mechanisms that need to be moved at the same time and in conjunction. You manage to open the outer sort of casing of the box, and it seems to reveal that there might be something inside, but you can't actually get at it until you fully open the cube. And it takes active pressure to keep it open. If you let go, it just sort of slides back into its original shape.
Try to hold up the cube and see what's inside if I can.
Yeah, give me a perception. Yeah, all you can tell is that there are mirrors inside of it as if to reflect or hide what's hidden inside.
Not today. I think I would like for you to accompany me, if it is possible. If not to the round table, at least to the meeting between our companions. My companions.
He nods.
You are in this too at this point. It was Callison who approached you, was it not?
Yes. Yeah. She was the one who employed me. And, well, beyond that, I hope to see that your friends are all right. Oral and Theron looked to be in a bad place when I last saw them.
Right. Shall we?
He nods. Let's. All right.
I'm gonna take the cube with me, by the way.
So it is still late at night, and Oral is not gonna wake up anytime soon. Same for Theron. But you've all sort of gathered in this sort of I don't know, clinic, medical wing, somewhere within the college. And I mean, what are you all doing while you wait? Are you gonna wait around for Oral and Theron to wake up? Or are you just gonna have a discussion without them? Or
I would like to do something in the full view of everyone else, openly. I want to retrieve the strange relic device off of Oral.
Okay. I imagine his belongings probably would have been set to his side. He's probably in like a medical gown sort of thing, so he's not like actively wearing have his bag on.
Yeah, I want to take out the device, and when the time is appropriate, I just want to gauge everybody's. I feel like if anyone wants to do anything, go ahead and do it. But I do want to say something about this. I feel like this is something we have overlooked. This was the object that was to be traded between Thaddeus and Aaron. That initial night we ambushed them.
We would need to find someone who could solve it then. If it's...
I don't know if it is a matter of it needing to be solved more as understood, but I mean, we are in one of the premier academies for magic and artifice. I could approach the Dean of Artifice, or if anyone has any better ideas, I'm open.
Hand it to me. Malakar holds out his hand. I
Yeah,
might be able to help, actually.
I'll hand it to him.
I will use my passive feature, Eyes of the Rune Keeper, and I'll read what it says.
Oh. Okay. It does have runes on it.
Yep.
That's an interesting one. Okay. It's a
Didn't
lot
see that
of.
coming, did you?
You'll still need an arcana to try to parse what its meaning is, but you can parse enough to write things down. So you could do an arcana maybe with Elias or Odin or somebody else like helping.
Well, I did an Arcana, but more than likely my character would have tried to figure it out, but then just handed it off to someone. He knows that's not his strong suit.
Well, you're able to read the writing and make sense of what it means, but it's just. I guess you're able to read the writing, just not make sense of what it means.
I'll try to describe it to the others, I suppose, and
Sure.
see if anyone else can figure out what they're for.
All right. Does somebody else want to help on this?
Yeah, I'll help.
So does somebody got he'll got some Arcana.
Yeah. With a 13, Elias. You're able to make out one recurring word is memory. It's the rune or symbol for memory. It seems to recur in several places on the device.
How big is this thing?
It's well, it looks like it could be almost worn as a hat.
I'm gonna put it on.
Okay.
I will stop him very quickly.
He frowns. What?
I think it is better that we understand what this is before we just engage with it off the cuff, I think.
He shrugs.
You have no way of knowing whether this will kill you, weaken you, empower you, change you. It's unwise, in my estimation. I think it would be better if we gathered at least Dean Aetherforge. As above the table, Dean Aetherforge is part of the round table, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think it would be better if we at least approached Dean Aetherforge with this before we try to unlock its secrets. We don't know why it was trying to be sold to Aaron, but the fact that he wanted it is concerning for sure.
He nods. We should probably bring it up to everyone at the round table, if I'm being honest.
I agree. There are a number of things I think we have overlooked in the past month that would be wise to address. There are things within the journal you found aboard the Grand des Etoiles that we have not addressed. The fact that apparently the heralds were looking to take notes of ley lines and other. I don't know. Do you have the book? Who has the book?
That's probably on Lane.
I mean, could we just say we got the stuff from him before he? Can we arrange
Sure.
to get it from him? I mean,
sure. We'll say Malakar's got it.
Yeah, Malakar will take and unbind. He's got about 2 different books, maybe 3 at this point, and he'll take the first one off and hand it towards you and rebind the other 2.
I'll open the book and just flip open to the page or a couple of different pages where it does talk about broader plans and like some of the arcane symbols. Like, I'll lean over to Malakar if he still has Eyes of the Runekeeper open and ask him if he can recognize what some of these symbols are in the book.
That's a good point.
But they have detailed notes on ley lines and mystical energies, and this device seems to be a strange device that harnesses mystical energy of some sort.
That'd be an Arcana there, DM. I mean, I have proficiency, so I can give whoever wants to roll it.
Yeah. Give me a minute. I'm trying to open my notes from a year and a half ago.
Nice.
It's not actually that far back. But, why is this not opening correctly? All the text is black. Or, like, highlighted black. Like it's redacted.
Redacted.
What is going on? This is a glitch in Microsoft Word. I'll print as PDF. Maybe that'll fix it. No, that's going to make it bad too. Damn. Well, that's unfortunate.
How could this happen to me?
Yeah, for real. Make all the text white. Maybe that'll make it appear. Okay, well, I can kind of sort of read it now. And it was the journal.
Got real quiet.
I should have been prepared for this when he mentioned this to me offhand yesterday. That's a real callback. Okay, whatever. We're gonna fly it back up because I'm not looking through 20 pages of notes to find this notebook. So you're looking for arcane symbols. I guess there would be some arcane symbols. You can give me an arcana. That's fine.
I mean, it says in the description for the handout that
those are a handout.
Yeah. It's under Grail of the Stars. It's the first handout under the Grail of the Stars.
Oh, I see. Wonderful. I don't have to search for it. Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. Yeah, give me an arcana. Or a religion.
Both of us, or just him, since he is the...
Whoever's investigating it and whoever's doing it will have a help action.
Okay. Then you roll at advantage, Malakar. Malakar?
See?
He's gone.
No, he's there. Roll Arcana at advantage.
Arcana or religion at advantage.
Oh, okay, hang on. Okay, yeah, it's still gonna be Arcana. Heyo!
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, boy.
All right. Page with the arcane symbols, detailed notes on ley lines and magical energies. Okay. All right. So, you gather a few things. First off, the heralds of reversion seem to have in this notebook realized a base fact of life. If you want to perform any sort of large ritual, you need an immense source of energy. A source of energy that can't normally be held within a single person. And so, society as a whole has turned to the ley lines for this answer, or for the answer to this issue. And within the ley lines, some artificers have built this this mechanism called the ley line harmonizer, which allows one to channel the natural energies of the world, of the underlying the mythos, the fabric of the world itself, to use magic from the world's energy. And they're musing about this fact and then talking about in terms of the grand design and the rejoining and how they would need to tap into the ley lines. That's what that's what you're able to get from that 20.
Malakar's going to kind of bounce the strange device in his hand. And he's going to grin and he's going to say, I think I know what this is.
Yes.
Yes, you use this to communicate with the ley line. Or use them or something like that. He
Grim,
shrugged.
would I have any notion of what a ley line harmonizer is? As of
Yeah,
yet?
you are in canon an artificer. You as an artificer will recognize that there is a ley line harmonizer built into this mechanism. It is itself not a ley line harmonizer, but it has one.
I'll gesture
Most artifice and modern technology is built with ley line harmonizer, so this is not abnormal.
It's the batteries of the world, essentially.
Essentially.
Of differing sizes and varieties. I'll gesture to the part that is the ley line harmonizer in the device, but I'll say this, all of this, and I'll gesture to everything around it, is not what would be considered normal for one of these devices. But you said this rune talks of memory. Could this be something similar to what they used on board the train? Maybe something to alter the memories of a large group of people, or
What if it's where that boy's memories are?
Bungo's memories?
He nods.
I will lean forward and say, "May I?" and hold out my hand.
Yeah, Malakar will hand both over.
I shall carefully examine each.
Okay. So the journal and the in the device.
I'm mostly looking at the device, but
Okay.
I'll give the journal a quick once over to see if there's anything that I think stands out.
There's not really anything significant in this journal. It seems to have been mostly the musings of a low-level member of the Heralds of Reversion, basically musing on ways that one could potentially bring back Atomos.
Mm-hmm.
The device. What are you looking at specifically?
Ooh, let me open up this device again. Blah, blah, blah. What's it labeled under?
It is under Magitech. So handouts.
Strange device. There we go.
Magitech. Mystery Mirrored and Strange Device.
while she's doing this, I think I'm going to lean over to Hammond and I'm just going to quietly whisper, find out if... Actually, Hammond's not with us, is he?
He could be, but you sent him away. That wasn't intended like that, but that was funny. Anyway, hey, all right. So, Neuro, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts is I'm not going to put this thing on, but I am going to reach out and touch it with my psionic mind.
Oh, okay.
See if there's something there for me to connect to.
Post that ability for me.
Okay. Where is it? Come here.
Okay, give me a wisdom save.
Everybody duck.
Okay. Yeah, with a 24, you try to reach your mind into this device. And you're trying to form some kind of a connection with it.
Yeah,
and
I suppose I could
this is
also
sort of
use Dreamweaver on that one.
this is sort of a wild idea in the first place, but somehow it seems to find some kind of a connection. And you hear thoughts that are not your own speaking back to you, but briefly. Who's there?
Only she hears this, correct?
Yes.
A Dreamweaver. Who are you?
What? Who am? I don't know. Who are you? Where am I?
We don't hear her speaking to this either, right? This is in her mind?
No, I'm
This
just
is all
sitting there.
telepathic.
I'm
Okay.
just sitting there staring at the device, holding it. You are either attached to or inside a strange device I have found.
The voice screams in terror. No, I don't want to. And then the voice evaporates. And then you hear another voice. Hello?
Hello.
What? I feel weird. Where am I?
Do you have a name?
I can't see a name. Who am I? And the
Are you
voice wistfully dissipates as well.
Interesting. I will
And
say,
it's more reactions like this, like multiple times.
I will mutter interesting as I retract my mind from the device. There are lost voices within this device. I will say, holding it out to them.
I'll take it and I'll look at it and trying to use that information along with my own knowledge as an artificer. Does it seem to me, or would it be plausible to me that the memories of people are being stored within to power this device?
Give me an Arcana with advantage.
Jesus.
This is a strange device. It's hard to wrap your mind around.
One day I'll be successful at something.
Not so hard to wrap minds inside of them. You know?
The voices that you heard inside, what did they say?
They wanted to know where they are. They didn't understand what was happening. They are confused. They are lost. They do not remember their names.
Why would Eren Valis need something like this?
Memories are powerful.
Did you recognize any of them?
No.
None that I recognized, but perhaps one day I will.
All right. I'm going to make an executive decision as the DM here for us to take a quick 5-minute break. Let's try when we come back to try to move forward in time so that Oral can join us. And,
I'm gonna drink some coffee.
And when we return, we can have some group discussion. So for the group discussion, I would like for you all to sort of have some purpose to what you're talking about. Try and we could take as long as we actually need, honestly. Like if we need to take this into the next session, that's fine. But just try to be respectful, not talk over each other, and listen to each other's ideas and all that. But we'll come back 5 minutes and we'll pick up with Oral waking up, or shortly thereafter. I think with the way Oral's recap was written, it's intended that you all maybe would have stepped out of the room at some point. So, yeah.
Okay.
But 5-minute break. Everybody get your coffee or whatever. Go to the bathroom. I shall drink water.
You can do anything else.
Ash Felix.
Yep.
No start from me. So, Forge, you been over there snoozing this whole time? Like, homeboy stepped away. I swear.
You did.
Grim, if we do step out in character, I will have used that time to go find Hammond and just ask him to see if he can find out whether or not my father is still in Avalon, and if he is, to make sure he's at the roundtable meeting.
Yeah, I'll just tell you out of character that yes, you find Hammond. And yes, he'll be at the roundtable meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. Aether Forge as well. Are
all the deans will be there.
All the deans are in the roundtable. Okay, just making
That's
sure.
correct. I'm gonna do something crazy, y'all. Look, in the game, I have moved the box for the date. It's fully now on the 49th. We have escaped the
Thank
curse
you.
of Bugnaris the 48th.
Thank you.
We've only been stuck on Pugnaris the 48th for like 3 months, so
Please.
I'm feeling cheeky. All right, it has been 5 minutes. It looks like Tally has deafened herself. I don't know if we should wait or not. I'm not sure what's going on here.
What you talk about?
Tally has deafened herself.
Patience.
All right, I guess we'll wait a few more minutes. Is there anyone else wants to do while we're waiting? Anything specific to like your character that you want to be doing?
I have a question over the table.
Uh-huh.
How close are we to a level, like narratively?
Narratively,
Yeah.
it depends. I mean, there is a reality in which you skip a lot of the clues and go straight to the end of this mystery, and in that situation you'll level pretty quickly. I've also been sort of mulling over the idea of giving you guys the level at the mid boss for this adventure, which also you could theoretically get to pretty quickly depending on which leads you follow up on. So, yeah, I don't know. It depends. Like, it could take a while, or it could be tomorrow in game. Probably will not be on this particular day. It won't be on the 49th of Pugnaris. Could see it as soon as the 50th, as late as the 56th.
Gotcha. I'm wanting to dip a level into Paladin,
I understand.
so I'm gonna have Malachar spend time at the temple as often as he can.
Yeah, that's fair. That's something we would be able to do if we had traveled forward in time far enough for Oral to be awake.
I'm going to dip a level into Death Knight.
Nice.
I made that up.
What's your abilities? Like, you just like look at things and they die? Like,
I think that would be pretty cool.
yeah. You can go talk to the guards at the vampire Duke's manor, and he'll I'm sure he'll be happy to, or his Death Knights will be happy to greet you at the door again. They might
Yeah,
teach you a
what's
thing or
up?
two.
I'm a cripple. My name's Greg. Um,
I think the
teach me
last
how
time
to
they
do
just
the
ignored.
death.
I think the last time they just ignored you all outright. The only one they even talk to is Malachar, and that's because he threw his family's name out there.
And only enough to tell me to fuck off.
Pretty much it, yeah.
They spoke to me long enough to say, yeah, your dad disowned you, get out of here.
Pretty much. That's rough, buddy.
Do be what it be. Malachar has chosen to turn to religion. You know something, Brennan?
Huh.
I'm gonna write up a prayer that I'm gonna have for Malachar, I think.
Oh, that'll be nice.
I thought so.
I always enjoyed doing that with my faith characters.
I've returned.
She's alive. She's got coffee.
The returned one.
I was like halfway through making a latte when you're like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Damn it! It wasn't 15 minutes, was it?"
Nope, it was 5. It's fine.
Yep.
You still made it back within 10, so it's good enough.
Had to rush my latte.
All right. No, we only have 3-hour sessions. We don't have time for 15-minute recap mid sessions. Okay, so you all spend some time here at the infirmary. I don't know why. We can contrive reasons. You can all give me reasons, but for whatever reason, everybody has stepped out of the room at some particular moment in time, and that's when Oral, you awaken. Seraphina is the only other one here with you. Theron is asleep in a bed nearby, and Seraphina is also asleep, like at the foot of your bed, sort of exhausted, leaned over the bed.
Well, I'm not
Doesn't
gonna
notice
bother.
you
I'm
wake
just
up.
gonna go through the steps I laid out. I'm taking off my limbs and going through my thoughts, not saying anything.
All right. Does
Read
anybody
myself.
have an idea for why the whole group would have stepped out?
I just went to go find him, and I think maybe Caden brought Caden with me.
Well,
Malachar's
it is.
gone.
You can go ahead first.
Oh, I was just gonna say Malachar went to go pray at the temple.
I will murder you, Justin.
Martyr me, please do.
That too. You should. Damn it! I don't have a good way to narratively make this work. You guys are like, it's like herding cats. You recall, Malachar, that there was some discussion about you all discussing amongst yourselves what had happened.
Okay, I went to go drain somebody. There you go.
Oh, okay, sure.
Went to go find myself a mouse. Got to get me a little bit of that, that delicious Capri Sun.
You all separate for a few hours. Maybe you go back to your rooms to get like a wink of sleep or something. Have breakfast, and you
ahead.
all reconvene. Sorry, go ahead, Tally.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Since we've been up all night, I fall asleep in the chair and don't wake up.
Makes sense. Well, Oral, I guess you as you're sort of there, like examining yourself, you sort of finish that, and then everybody starts to pour into the room or starts to wake up. And Seraphina wakes up and sees that you're okay, and she gets up and walks over to you, Oral, and she like puts her hand on your shoulder, and she says, "Are you okay? I heard you had one of your episodes again."
I'll be fine, my lady. But well, yeah, I'll be fine.
She has a look of worry in her eyes. Well, don't push yourself. Don't go too far. We're here to help. Remember that.
Indeed. Thank you.
And she'll sort of pull up a chair nearby, and at this point, Theron has also sort of woken up and is sat up in his bed. You can see the look of like shame, I guess, on his face as he looks over at you, Oral, and he sort of just mouths under his breath, like, "I'm sorry." He doesn't really say anything else.
Earl probably isn't even paying attention to Theron.
Fair enough. All right, but you have all gathered.
Well, alright then. Those of you who actually went inside, what did you find out? Or I guess more aptly, I should tell you what I know. Well,
Before anything, I think, are you okay? What
I'll
happened?
be
Are you
fine.
alright?
It happens. It's
But
just
it
another day.
doesn't. Not that I have seen.
Well,
More
some
than
days are
likely,
better
he
than
passed
others.
out. Exhaustion.
That's an apt explanation.
How much of that flashback was I privy to?
You would have gotten bits and pieces, but mostly the final bits where his legs got cut off. You saw the whole final scene with him getting betrayed and him screaming.
Mm-hmm. I'll just quietly reach forward and give his hand a squeeze.
He'll kind of just shrug it off and just look around and say, I believe we have more important things to be talking about than, well, me. I've got probably the best sleep I've gotten in who knows how long. And while, we didn't take the best care with getting me taken care of, just gonna kind of look around at the rashes that are, or the new wounds slash rashes that are on my, or where my prosthetics plug in. That's the least of our concern, currently, anyhow.
I do not know how to remove those.
I wouldn't worry about it. Not many do. They're kind of a, well, I design them, I take them off. It's not so much a thing that others are privy to.
Would you like me to attempt if it happens again?
No. I can deal with the wounds like this myself. These things happen when, you're wearing prosthetics for as long as I do, regardless of if I sleep in them or not. Comfort tends to be a bit lacking. Anyhow, moving on to the things that I learned, anyhow. I found a, he's just gonna kind of look around again, gathering his thoughts. Well, I found information that Gareth was still alive and was the one who seemingly perpetrated the attack.
Malachar rubs his head.
We thought he died, I say with a frown.
I suppose we know who we're looking for now, though, at the very least.
Well, what's who told you this? What did they see?
Oh, it was a drunkard that I went to confront outside. Turns out that he was a member of the cult, at least formerly. Well, current, former, something in between. Anyhow, he was drunk and he tried running away. I chased him down, tied him up. Provided somebody grabbed him, he's probably in custody somewhere.
Caden next to Odin will say, yes, I've arranged for him to be detained. I didn't know what his purpose in all of this was, but I noticed he was restrained nearby. We'll have him brought in for questioning.
It
He
might be
said that there was
pertinent.
something different about Gareth. So,
Different? In what
like
way?
a different person. Thinking back on it, it's kind of fuzzy in my head, but that's about what I can gather.
Well, as you're all... Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I forgot that I was in the middle.
What? Somebody gonna say something?
I forgot what I was saying. I'm trying to remember. It felt very important, but I don't remember what it was.
I think it is pertinent for us to put together a list of things that we should present to the round table. It was them who charged us with capturing Aaron Vallis. We should leave nothing out if we are to tell them what has happened.
In other words, form a report.
Essentially, yes.
Oh,
I definitely... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I almost forgot. I will pull out the drawing from where I had tucked it away in my shirt.
Okay. I've got descriptions for you.
I shall place it on the table where they can see.
Spread across a page of coarse parchment, the drawing is rendered in simple charcoal strokes, uneven and smudged in places, but haunting in its precision. The subject is unmistakable. Callison Ravinican, shackled in a dim chamber, her arms hanging above her, manacled at the wrists to thick chains bolted to the ceiling. Her head droops forward, her hair, normally elegant and styled, falls loose and tangled over her shoulders. Her face is gaunt, hollowed by something far worse than hunger. The room around her is cold and clinical. No defining features save for a small grated drain beneath her feet and rows of carefully arranged glass vials on the shelves behind her. Many of the vials are darkly shaded, as if filled with some heavy liquid. Others are emptied, but labeled with tiny, precise markings. The charcoal lines depicting her body grow thinner around her limbs, and heavy shading is used at her throat and wrists, where veins might be, or where blood might have once been.
Is Nura showing everyone this?
Yes.
Yep.
Malachar will look at it for a long time until it starts shaking in his hand. And his eyes are going to start darting all around the paper. I'm going to see if I can read the labels on the vial.
Okay, there's quite a few checks you can make here, so you're focusing on the vials first. So give me just a moment.
Okie smoky.
Okay, give me an Arcana or Religion. The 12. Some of the jars bear faint arcane glyphs roughly shaped. With the 12, you're not really able to make sense of what these. And it's hard to even read them in the first place. It's very intricate for simple charcoal drawing, but you would need probably a second opinion as to what the meanings of these files are.
Okay. What are the other checks I can make?
You just look around. Like if you're looking for, if you do like a general investigation, that might help.
Okie smoky.
With the 17, there's a few things I can tell you. First off, the parchment has faint lines from being crumpled into a ball and then smoothed back out. It must have been discarded, perhaps impulsively, before being kept anyway. A few other things catch your eye. Let's see. First off, you can see what appears to be water stains near the bottom of the paper. Second, you can see the smudge marks seem to be almost purposeful. Smudge marks run diagonally across the central figure's face as if trying to rub her out to unsee her. And if you can give me an insight.
Oh, the worst thing I could possibly do. All right.
We'll say with advantage on this one. Didn't matter. 13 is good enough. The water stains at the bottom, these are clearly tear stains along the bottom edge of the paper, partially absorbed into the parchment. You can tell based on the layering of the liquid that's pulled along the edge of the paper, the parchment, with the charcoal, that it must have been done after the drawing, not while during the drawing. And again, it's clear that the face has been marked out. You gather with this insight that Sophia, or whoever drew this, did not intend to do so and was shocked by what they saw.
Malachi's just gonna hand it off. I can't look at this anymore.
Does anybody else want to take a look at the drawing?
Yeah, I'll look at it and see if anything stands out to me.
Give me an investigation with advantage. 16 is pretty good. Go ahead and see what your advantage is. Nope, 16. All right. Your eye catches on the same thing that Malachar noted with jars, with the glyphs. The glyphs are in enough detail that if you could make sense of them, you could clearly read what they are. And you can give me an Arcana or Religion with advantage. With a 19, the glyphs and runes that you see seem to suggest attempts to preserve life essence or some kind of magical extraction techniques.
Blood.
And it's what it looks like. I mean, it's in black charcoal, but I mean,
I'll look to Nuria and I'll say, reminds me what it was that afflicted Sophia. It comes from your region of the world, does it not?
It
Uh,
does. You want to go ahead?
Yeah. Do you need me to fill you in, or if you know, you can go ahead. That's not like a judgment call. Like if you don't know, I can tell everybody.
There's something spell plague. I had the name a second ago, and then you interrupted me, and it's gone.
It's right here in chat. It's the Aravina and the spell plague. So Aravina is
Yeah.
the nation, the sole nation of the subcontinent of Ariana. And at the southern reaches of Aravina, along the edge of the Fist of Eastus Desert, uh, there is a large crater that was created a very long time ago. Locals believe that this crater was created when a fight happened between the gods, and a god whose name has been lost to time was killed, and their weapon fell into the middle of this crater. The crater is rich with resources, but it has been found that people who live along the southern edge of the crater sometimes fall ill to what's known as the Aravinan spell plague. The Aravinan spell plague allows its victims to perform miraculous feats, feats which have been identified as divine in nature, but that slowly will leech the life of its victims. So, by using the divine power of the Aravinan spell plague, one's life is shortened. And in the case of Sophia, this comes in the form of visions that she draws into her pictures. And they come sporadically and without warning, and she has no control over
I shall relay exactly that.
them.
It is possible that if Sophia recreated this drawing from a vision, she might know more about the details of what she drew. It might be worth. Obviously, it is worth searching for her and her father, but where to begin? I think, if anything, though, Malakal, you can at least rest easy knowing that Callison may still be alive.
He nods. Doesn't look like it was much comfort, but he does nod.
Well, some comfort is better than none.
Amen.
Theron leans forward. He's been sort of quietly listening this whole time. Seems almost in a dazed state. What of Aaron Wallace? Whatever did you manage to track him down?
I'll look over to Theron and I'll shake my head at first, but I'll follow it up eventually by saying Aaron Vallis is dead.
There's a look of shock and guilt that runs across his face. He doesn't say anything.
We believe he was killed by Gareth Blackthorn, who was supposedly seen fleeing the scene of the fire.
He just has a faraway stare. He doesn't really say anything.
I'll set the drawing Sophia made down on the table, and I'll go over to Theron's bed. Do not think too harshly of yourself, Theron.
He looks at you and, like, he nods, but give me an insight check. Damn. Yeah, with a 22, you can see that as he nods to you, there's this look of emptiness to his eyes. Like, as he nods, maybe there's a slight smile, like he's trying to reassure you, but in his eyes, you can see that that smile does not quite reach his eyes. It's subtle, hard to notice. His face is mostly placid. Very, very, very slight change in his demeanor.
I'll take note of it, but I won't call him out on it here in front of everyone.
Serafina will pipe up. What of the rest of the investigation? I mean, what have you all found? Sounds like, other than Aaron being killed and Gareth Blackthorn re-emerging on the scene, you went to the looms?
Oh,
We did.
yeah.
We made some considerable discoveries there. Having to do with. It's hard to even say. The rats that we were commanded to follow by Callison. They have been infected, changed, altered. It's difficult to say. We captured one and returned it. But it'll take time to understand what has happened to it and what it could mean for Myrden overall. We saw many on our way to the burning building, to the clinic, but they were unaffected as the ones we encountered in the Lowtown looms. At least not yet affected. There's a greater plot as well, involving Arabelle's curiosities and the Silver Eclipse, I believe. I know that there is an open house at Arabelle's Curiosities in 2 days' time. I have a plan in place, but I wish to confer with the round table first before we pursue that plan. As for the casino, I don't know. There's discussion that needs to be had as to how to proceed on that front.
Well, anyone? I want you all to remember this moment in 2 weeks' time when you're like, we haven't had a chance to sit down and talk about everything that's happened.
Vampire rats. They be everywhere. I told an old lady not to worry about them, but she's gonna get sucked by the vampire rat. She might already been sucked by the vampire rat. Who knows?
Yeah, very good likelihood of that.
It happens.
What? I mean, short of filing a report and presenting it to the round table, what questions do we have that need to be answered? Perhaps we should form a list of questions that can help guide us on what to do next.
Whose memories are in the device?
What is the device? What was it meant for? We brought back Aaron Vallis's body. Perhaps we can question it. There are methods I know of that I don't know personally, but I know exist.
Oral. This is the
Yes.
first time since you've woken up that they've mentioned a device. And
What
you can
device?
see on the table nearby, the device that you've had in your pack has been removed.
Oh. Did you pull that out of my pack?
I did. It's occurred to me we have not spoken of it since that day in the park where we ambushed Aaron and the criminals that you encountered. That now are in your employ, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You threatened Thaddeus, or you persuaded him to work for you?
Well, persuade is a better word for it. Arl is going to pick up the device off of the table and give it a full look over.
Give me an Arcana.
Second.
Do
you all tell him of what you've discovered about the device?
Yeah, everything you heard earlier while you were asleep, I would say you probably now know.
Okay, I am
Just
going
for brevity's sake, though, we'll skip over that.
My background.
For understanding magical device, when you examine a magic, you can determine its basic function and how to operate it, even if you've never seen it before. That is handy. Okay. This device is obviously meant for manipulating memories some way, but I will need still an Arcana to fully grasp it.
Okay.
Okay. We'll say you've got the 19. You've got advantage based on the information that's been given to you and what you've from your background. Let's call this device the mnemonic nullifier. Give it a name instead of strange device.
Trademark it.
The mnemonic nullifier is used to wipe memories.
Very good thing that you did not put that on, Malachar.
I would
He
say
put it
so.
on, he just didn't activate it.
It seems, just from giving it a quick look over, it's some kind of memory-altering device. It looks like if it's activated, it would erase either a portion of somebody's memory or maybe the whole thing. Depends on how it's used, I suppose.
It is an easy conclusion to arrive then that Aaron wanted this to suppress something, either within himself or someone else, but the fact that Gareth went to such lengths to kill him, I think. There's something Aaron knew that could not be revealed.
Well, somebody needed silencing, that's for sure.
Which I think even warrants more now than before. Pursuing methods to speak with him beyond the grave. But I do not know of any individuals. Surely there must be someone within the school, or perhaps Odin will look to Nura and Malachar, and if Axel were here, Axel as well, but look to Nura and Malachar. You went to a temple not long ago, is that correct?
Malachar nods.
Perhaps.
I wanted answers for what this symbol was.
What is that symbol? I don't think Odin knows.
Out of character, you've not really talked about it outside of your sort of trio. Now a duo.
I recognize this, and he points to the figure 8 below the moon, but I don't think he has put everything together yet.
As he sort of, do you display your
If he's wanting to see it, yeah, Malachar openly displays it just whenever.
All
He's very
right,
proud
so
of it.
I guess for
Nora as
Oral
well.
Elias, and Odin, given that you've not really seen this in any for any great length of time, you can give me a religion check.
A religion check, you say?
That's right.
Hope you've been praying, boy. Reading your Bible.
Wow.
That one. No.
Wow.
Not great.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I guess you'll have to just sit here and be informed.
Wow.
With your 11 religion checks, you feel like you should be ashamed of yourself. Like you've just forgotten something really basic. You feel like you recognize one or the other of these two symbols, but I mean,
Yeah, like I said, Odin recognizes the figure 8, but he doesn't
yeah,
recognize
yeah.
the
Odin would
lunacy.
recognize the figure eight. That does make sense. But yeah,
It is a mark of, like, a chosen of sorts. It's lots of the most important members of specific, cliques of religion have been denoted to having symbols such as this.
A mark of sainthood.
He nods.
But
Theron leans forward in his bed as his face turns to shock. You've been marked as saints?
Quite some time ago, yeah.
when? Where? Why have you kept this from us?
Days run together for me. I was following Nura. I don't necessarily know if she knew where she was going, but we ended up in a garden, like a temple's garden, and there was a big moon statue and a well. He shrugs. I guess being there was enough to become saints. I don't even know if I could show you where this place is. I'm not sure if it was even in the school. You understand?
You hear Theron mutter under his breath, then this must be the goddess Luna.
Malachar nods. I've recently attempted to reach and communicate with the goddess, but he shrugs.
This is why you went to the temple?
I've gone to the temple quite extensively the past few days, yes.
Does the round table know of this?
He shakes his head. I had planned to tell them of it in this meeting.
Odin just shakes his head as well in agreement. And his brows are furrowed, and he's like thinking harder now on certain things.
Theron leans further forward in his bed. He would get up if he could. Like you can see he's struggling. Realizes, oh yeah, my legs aren't working at the moment. And he says, perhaps you should. Well, if it feels appropriate in the moment, if it feels like there's no other alternative. But I think you should not tell the wider roundtable about this particular.
Malachar raises an eyebrow. And is there a particular reason for that?
He shakes his head and he just sort of looks up like he's thinking. It's just think about who are the main members of the round table. Aside from promising students like ourselves, the round table is made up of world leaders, leaders of religious sects. A symbol such as the one you bear would be considered sacrilege. You would be there could be outcry.
But why?
The Oh, what was that word?
You say it is sacrilege, but if they are leaders of religious sects, would they not rejoice in signs of their gods returning to Krindal?
Well, that's just it. It's not their gods, I don't think.
Yes, but there are multiple gods, and as far as I know, we are in opposition to forming them to become the one god again, so
Give me a religion check, Odin. Okay, with a 17, you know that in the Divine Crescent faith, that each of the gods has only ever had one saint. And after the saint was chosen, the saint would roam the land performing miracles on behalf of their chosen deity. And then after the end of the saint's life, that god no longer exists on the material plane. Prayers are still met, but no words are spoken. Miracles no longer occur. This is the reality of the gods in this world, is that there's only ever been one saint for each god. For there to not only be now a new saint of Luna, but to be two, you don't know. They haven't revealed to you that Axel also has a symbol. But for there to be not only one, but two saints of Luna, that is unheard of. And perhaps you think back to your own family's history, Odin, and you recall the stories of Saint Castile, for whom you are named. The Saintess. There's some details we never worked out there, but
has Luna ever had a saint before?
yes.
She has indeed.
I don't. What, Fallon? What do we gain by withholding this information from the Round Table? If we are dealing with a cult that seeks to reunify the Divine Crescent, would it not be pertinent to reveal our own interaction with the gods themselves? It is unprecedented.
Theron,
I may have an idea. Perhaps one of us should just step forward and proclaim ourselves with the symbol, and then the other can stand back. We can tell them without telling them. They should at least know that there is a goddess that has made changes to how things work. He looks at Theron.
We also do not know if there are other saints that have been touched by other gods across Klindel. Never mind Klindel at large, but Lysara, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Lysara is the continent, and Grendel is the
itself
world.
is the world, yeah. Never mind Klindel, but just our own region of the world. The fact that they have already talked and revealed themselves to a priestess of Luna might be a sign of what is to come. It is bound to get out in the open eventually.
Theron's like
That-
listening the whole time, and he'll just sort of, because this is all being directed towards him. He's not had a chance to respond.
Mm-hmm.
he's just going to say, it was only a suggestion. If you find it prudence in the moment that you should reveal this information, he shakes his head. I am not one to stop you. It is your gifts, your boon, and your burden to bear.
It is also our burden to bear if we withhold secrets from the secret organization we are part of.
He chuckles.
I have to advise against it though. We are tools in the circle. We apply for marketing almost. Do you want to be used more against higher people? I don't know.
I see your point.
Drawing more attention
Aaron?
isn't exactly the best either.
But I do not see the correlation between revealing ourselves to the world and revealing ourselves to the round table. No one knows about the round table except those within it.
Yeah, but those within it have a lot of power. They don't need more of it. They're gonna use it against us in one way or another.
Even if they're on our side, which we believe that they are, somebody like your father, who holds a lot of political powers on that table, even if he says he's sworn to secrecy, he's sure to share it. It will spread.
I willfully disagree with you. I know my father. None of you have met him. None of you know him. None of you barely know me, for that matter. And I still feel this air of distrust that Axel shared. I thought he buried it.
It isn't a matter of distrust in you or your father. It's a matter of
How the
we
war
have a lot of worries
works.
already. Why add more?
There is critical information I feel like we ignore by concealing this. We deprive ourselves of a resource which may prove beneficial into stopping the Heralds of Reversion. The Heralds of Reversion. I'm just gonna say Heralds of Reversion. I can't do it in a French accent. It's so fucking hard.
Just create an acronym for it and just hit the letters.
The
The
Heralds.
whore? The whore?
So, I turn to Auden and I look him in the eyes. I'm like, look, you belong to the circle. You and all your family. We, almost all of us, are nobodies. No title, no power, no money, like you at least. We are in the circle because the higher ups don't want the whole situation with the Grail of the Stars to go public, at least from our mouths. I'm sorry. So they're trying to keep tabs on us and keeping us busy. And
Theron raises his hand.
Mm-hmm.
You are all members of the round table because I scouted you.
Yeah, I kind of forgot he was here too.
I saw promise in all of you. That is why you're members of the round table. If the things you say you truly believe, then perhaps we as the younger generation can change the way the round table is run. But it is my theory that the people in charge of the round table are in charge, and there are no people in charge. It is not an organization with a leader, with a head. But the senior members of the round table, They hold the power they do in the wider worlds largely because of their connections that they formed as a result of being in the Round Table, not the other way around.
I don't know. I think it's just convenient scattering us and having us all in a wagon.
Darren shrugs. I mean, you handled yourselves well in the Rail of the Stars. Really as simple as that.
Well, we are students of magical school. I think like I would guess like 85% if you had any other student awake in that wagon, they would make their way up in the front wagon and manage the situation as we did. That's my thought.
Felix. Not Felix. Elias. You are not a nobody. Malachar is not a nobody. You both hail, as I understand it, from noble lineage. Oral has connection to noble lineage. Nora, I look to Nora,
Is here too.
I don't understand. I cannot speak to her lineage, but she possesses a considerable power in the area of divination and foresight. None of us here are unworthy of being part of a greater body, of a greater goal, of a group in pursuit of a greater goal, I should say. I, better than most, I would say, understand the need for distrust of those in power. I understand it. I understand your misgivings. I understand Axel's misgivings toward the Round Table, but we've been given a great resource and we should use it, I think. They, by their very nature in being a secretive organization, they are bound from even if they wanted to, they are bound from causing or letting information out that would cause a stir or a panic, such as the newfound sainthood of individuals chosen by Luna. I struggle. I just struggle to understand the distrust, while at the very same time understanding the distrust. It is okay to be wary, but I feel like putting up a complete and total wall does not benefit us, and I feel that is what you're trying to do, or what you want to do. But if I'm mistaken, please tell me.
Darren will speak again. I was the one who brought this up. I meant only, as you suggest, to speak caution. Again, you may do as you please. It is
Stefan,
not mine.
you have been a member of the Round Table longer than us. Are there those on the council that you distrust yourself?
He thinks for a moment. There are those who have ulterior motives, I would say. But for the most, or not even for the most part, but I can say with certainty that every member of the Round Table, in their own way, seeks to pursue the greater good.
And those who you suspect of harboring ulterior fuck me, dude. Ulterior motives. Are they not held in check by the other members of the Round Table who you do trust?
He nods. I believe that to be the case, yes. There will be voices who will see reason, those who will be moderate voices, and there will be those who think that Introducing a new saint in today's age is sacrilege, but they will balance each other out as you suggest.
I'll look to Nura and Malakar. Are there any others who know of this?
Malakar shakes his head. My father saw the symbol but does not know what it means. He's quite stupid.
I want to know if that was an intentional lie on Malakar's part, or if it's a slip of his mind.
Slip of the mind? I can't think of anyone else.
I do believe there was a priestess that you mentioned such thing to.
Yeah, but we already knew that.
Yeah, we've already talked about the priestess.
You haven't mentioned Axel.
Ugh.
Also, did you guys not show Grimshaw?
You
Did we?
I showed Grimshaw.
You also showed the two of the deans, I think.
Yeah. I plan to oh, never mind, that's
You
irrelevant.
silly goose.
It's fine.
He is Scalm Goose, so
Yeah, I gotta spread the chaos.
Do you recall in the moment, in game, having shown this to Grimshaw? And if you do, will you tell us?
As well as Grimshaw. And I believe the deans have seen them as well, or seen it as well.
Well, there's no point in talking it over. Someone in the order would have heard it by now.
Well, the deans themselves are in the round table, so if
There's no
they
point in
know,
that
then
It's
perhaps
already
we can use
common
it as a
knowledge.
litmus test in seeing whether or not they have told anyone else.
I don't think
As no-
Nura revealed it to anyone, did she? Man,
No.
I don't remember.
Good
Nura's pretty solitary for the most part.
As for Grimshaw, that could complicate things. I mean, it becomes a moot point at that point. He himself is a secretive person, though, so perhaps he will have not told anyone else either. But what he does with that information is anyone's guess. He is outside of the round table, which is why I think we should limit our interaction with him as well. Provided, despite what he can grant us with his own knowledge.
On that note, Hammond walks into the room. And, he'll deliver you a note, Odin.
I'll take the note and read it in front of everybody. I won't read it aloud. I'll read it first to myself.
Yeah, it's a note. It's your group present here currently in the infirmary has been summoned to Grimshaw's office.
Oh, can I read the note that I got from Axel while I'm sitting in here?
You can.
What'd it say?
Are you gonna read it aloud? Are you gonna read it to yourself first?
I'll read it to myself first.
It says
Just in
things
case
have
it's personal.
Things have gotten out of hand, and I'm tired of messing around. I'm looking into another angle to all of this. Don't look for me, Axel.
Yeah, I'll read it aloud to the others after reading it myself.
Right.
You're not going to believe this. I'll toss the note onto the table. But it seems, speak of the devil, Grimshaw has summoned us to speak with us together as a whole.
Well, you would need his help regardless if you wanted to talk to Valen, because it's the only one with connections with doing
I'll clarify that the note from Grimshaw does not specifically call out everybody in the room. More so, what's happened here is somebody came looking for Nura and Malakar, and Hammond was standing at the door, took the note to you, and it says that Malachar and Nura are needed to see Professor Grimshaw.
Ah, yes.
I suppose it is that time. Shall we then?
Wait, what's why? Why? Is this to do with the mark?
Private lessons.
I don't believe so, no. Would you care to come?
I mean, I would if I did not think he would bar us from entry. He only asked for you.
Better to ask forgiveness than what was the other word?
Permission.
Permission, yeah.
He's like, I don't even know the other word.
Yeah, that's how little it fucking matters. I don't even remember what it is.
What is that?
I will refrain, and I say both of you go. But
We'll fill you in. Don't worry.
and do your best not to out either the round table or our involvement in it.
Of
course
course.
not.
I worry we tread too closely to that already by bringing the rat to him, but it
There's
That is
not
what
much
this is
more.
about, yes?
right. That's what I imagined. Yes.
All right. We'll let you know what has occurred.
Theron will pipe up and make a rare joke. I would join you, but he pats his legs. Oh, that's a strange feeling.
Bit tied up at the moment. He chuckles.
He laughs as well.
Just relax, Theron. You'll be fine. You'll have your feet back under you before you know it.
Theron looks at you, Oral, and like he doesn't say anything, but he looks at your prosthetics and looks back at his own legs, and he his sort of chuckle smile turns into a frown. He doesn't say anything.
Well, hearing him make that joke, he had initially been planning on staying, but he's gonna go. Because he cannot be in the same room as Mr. Depressing Pants over there.
The awkward is gonna kill me. I need to get out.
Yeah. At the very least, he doesn't even care if he's going with you guys. He's just trying to get out of the room.
Never mind, guys. I'm out.
Actually, Oral, if I could speak with you for a moment.
As long as it's out of the room.
Yeah. So the two of you step out. Nura and Malachar, you're going to step out. Elias, what are you doing?
Good question. I have no idea.
You have an idea or you have no idea?
I have
Is
no
it a
idea.
good one?
Okay. Well,
No.
I'm playing hopscotch
if-
in the corner. Well,
if you come up with something in the next few minutes, let me know. But otherwise, let's go to Odin and Oral.
All right. What is it that you needed?
Well, first, I wanted to apologize for removing something from your belongings without your knowledge, but it's just occurred to me and I wanted to inspect the device before you awoke with the others. I feel like it is also something important that we should present to the round table. But the reason I wish to talk with you was I've been thinking on a great many things, but you and I share something in common in that we both have chosen, after a fashion, to employ firearms in the use of our encounters, our conflicts, our violent conflicts.
Well, that is true. Although it
I
seems
s-
you had the idea before I did, I merely happened upon a chance.
I still don't know what the implications are in using these tools, weapons, on other living beings. it's I've given it some thought, and essentially, in a way, you're handing a wand into the hands of those who are not practitioners of magic. You're giving them a means to fight back against mages. Yeah, it's I struggle to word what I've contemplated on. That being the case, I wanted to ask you if you would not perhaps lend me any blueprints or projects or creative um, insights that you have collected over your time making use of these items.
Well, to go back on the first thing you said, I kind of view them as a great equalizer of sorts. Like you said, it does put something akin to a wand in the hands of the common man.
You might
That's a way to
understand
fight.
then, right, but given everything that has happened, the message on the Coil du Desertoir, the call for those of lower means to rise up against others like me, my concern in doing so. To have a cause is a noble thing, but it is a manipulation. I do not wish for... I just worry at the unintended consequences of doing something like this.
Well, things like this have a matter of, as soon as they happen, they happen. You can't put the cat back in the bag, as it
Oh,
were.
fuck off.
you're, you're welcome. Um, uh,
I just...
um,
I wish to be cautious in this thing that I do. I have my own blueprints that I have been working on. I have restrained myself from pursuing them further. Be quiet, ma'am. My God. Jesus.
She has something to say, though.
I know, man. I have restrained myself from pursuing this, but I have an idea, and I may seek your inputs on it. I may seek your knowledge.
well, that's
I
fine.
just I I struggle to reconcile what it means to make what I think I will, what I think this thing will be,
Well,
and
just
what it...
know that even without your input, given 2, 5, 10 years, somebody will figure out how effective these are. Whether it be a rich artificer like yourself or a poor man managing to scrap one together on his own. As soon as that happens, you can't stop whatever happens next. All you can do is find ways to try to stop it. Whether that be having restrictions or whatever else. Personally, as long as I have a way I can hold my own, I'm fine. But I can help you if you so need it. I have
Oh,
designs.
I have a design laid out. I've sought the courage to implement it. I think perhaps looking at your work, I might find that courage. I it's I've not fully told anyone, but it is difficult to describe what I felt when I shot Aaron unintentionally. I can't begin to imagine what it would feel like if I shot someone intentionally.
Oh, it's not much different than cutting them open. I'd say it's a bit better than that, but I'd wager you don't really have experience in that. Regardless of anything else, you haven't been put through that. It stays with you. It doesn't really go away. But you find ways to live with it and to make things otherwise more tolerable, livable.
Are you all right, Oral?
Well, I'm
This is the
perfectly
question.
fine.
You are sure?
Well as I can be.
If you ever need
Rich
someone to,
dad.
if you ever need someone to speak to, I will listen.
Well, that's noted.
I feel like Odin feels like he's probably getting shut down a little bit, so he'll just nod and like let that be.
All right.
A man of few words.
I think that's a good place to stop. We'll pick up next time with interrogating a rat's memories. That'll be fun.
Yay!
Just like my grandfather used to do.
Yeah. Well, I figure probably next session we'll have a little bit more time if anybody wants to do anything they didn't get a chance to do this session. Just let me know in advance, please, and I can try and make a few minutes. We won't spend the whole session on it. I also don't anticipate that we'll need the whole session for this thing for that. But that's you'll probably want some time after interrogating the rat before the round table.
Okey smoky.
Well,
Okay.
hope y'all had a fun time. It was a little bit of a different session, but we'll be getting back into it soon.
Indeed.
All right, I
Oh,
will
yeah.
see you guys later.
Have a
Oh,
good
does
night,
anybody
guys.
want to do a recap?
I'll do the recap.
All right, thank you, sir.
All
I got
right,
it.
bye.
I got a
Bye.
point.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Is it a plan or a scheme?
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit of both. I'm gonna write a letter to someone. I think you probably
I see.
can. You can know. You figure out who Grim. You already know.
Yeah.
But what that letter says and what it asks, I don't know yet.
I see.
War guns.
Also, Grim, I've worked on the Obsidian note a little bit more. I've included a bunch of things. It's still nowhere near done, but I just wanted to let you know.
Oops. I need to get everybody else in there. Felix, you have an obsidian note. If you
Yeah, I do.
if you want to add anything to there at any point, just let me know. Alright, well, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good one. And Forge, just saying you did this to yourself with that character backstory.
Yeah.
I do
Tell
like
me-
that we're getting more. I feel like we're getting more oral in this session than we have in the previous ones. Just by nature of, hey, bro, you just passed out. Are you like okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm okay.
Not a
Each
word.
time
Not a
sounds-
fucking
each-
word. Tell me about
each
how you
time-
lost your legs. I mean,
Each time a little less convincing.
short of just broaching the subject directly. So you are missing 3 limbs. Why don't you tell me about that?
Wait until Nura like comes up and confronts you and is like, "Hey, I saw what happened to you."
Oh, that's not going to go well at all. That's going to be awful. There is a 0% chance that Oral makes it out of that without breaking down.
Yeah.
Grim, I'm not gonna lie, I'm highly concerned that you as the DM used an NPC as a proxy to tell us that we shouldn't reveal our sainthood to people on the round table.
I didn't say well. So first off, the NPC was there to plant a suggestion, which sowed what do you call
Discord.
discord in your party.
Well, see, now I'm not sure if I can trust Theron again. I was briefly during that whole like discussion about trust. I was briefly going to like turn to Theron and say, you know, there was a moment where we distrusted you.
Yeah.
Aaron Jr.
Bruh.
I'm tired of Odin and his family getting all this flack. My poor dad. He makes watches. That's all he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, your dad's a cool guy. It's your mom that everybody should be talking trash about, right?
Oh, really? Yeah, I suppose.
Damn.
I mean, based on her position, like she's the one in the real power. She's basically the military general of a nation, and he's like a clockmaker.
To be fair,
Not the
does,
clockmaker. Not the clockmaker.
yeah.
Let's be fair.
To be fair, I mean his company is just like, I feel like that's what he's most known for, but like I would say
He's a duke.
up. My god, man. I would say he probably has like his toes or fingers in like big artifice projects across, if not Everu, I mean if not Avalon, at least Everu, but the wider Losaran region. I would say like if there are floating buildings or if there are communication devices that use a ley line harmonizer, or you know, things of that nature, big infrastructural industrial kind of artifice sized stuff, I would say he probably has something to do with it.
Man, imagine being the artificer with the patent on the ley line harmonizer. Like that's Rockefeller or like Carnegie kind of money.
Is there somebody who does?
Yeah, there would be. You haven't met them.
Is that public knowledge though?
Yes.
Okay. Other rich people other than me? Aghast.
There are people much richer than me. Here's the thing. Here's the thing,
yeah,
right?
I'm not
Like,
family in Everu either.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Odin is stupid rich beyond the imaginations of most of the party. But then he's like nothing compared to like some of the really stupid rich people. And that's like the real world. Like the real world's like that.
House Moreau's richer than House Cartman.
Yeah.
But money doesn't always equate to power. It does equate to power, but not always like ultimate power.
It's true.
Hey,
I wonder what the most... Go ahead.
You know that the music that you play is got on both episodes of Mythical Magus that I put on my YouTube channel, Struck?
That's funny. I thought it was... I thought they weren't public videos.
No, they're not. It's not like a copyright strike. It's just like they've been claimed or whatever.
You can claim private videos.
I guess so.
I mean, if you're not trying to monetize, yes, it's fine. It doesn't matter. If it's not like public, then it won't matter.
No.
The music is there for our playing enjoyment.
Indeed. Copyright protected content found if the owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. So it's okay.
Oh.
But
I see. All this anime music, I'm gonna wind up getting you guys in trouble at some point.
indeed. Honestly, the end of the stream right now is kind of a banger.
Oh?
Yeah. If you want to tune in.
What? Oh. Is it still going right now?
Yeah, it's still going.
Would you just like play some like the outro theme from oh hey, it's Horseman spinning Halo 3. Right? I like it.
Yes. He's been doing this for like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
All right. Well, y'all have a good one.
Yeah.
Stop your stream at some point, and let me know if you think of anything else you want your characters to do.
He's gonna build a Thompson submachine gun.
I see. Good luck.
I'm
Okay.
going to build probably the worst thing I could ever build.
I
Yeah,
am going
yeah.
to build a
Let's do
nuclear bomb.
That's essentially what I'm building, a mini nuclear bomb in my hands.
Okay, I'm gonna make an F-14 then. I don't think Grim can stop an F-14.
F-14 won't have shit on stuff at the end of this campaign, I'm afraid.
Well, that's fine. I just want an F-14.
I don't think a nuclear bomb would either, honestly.
That concerns me.
It should. We're going fun places.
Alright, well, goodbye.
Ask Lane if he remembers what happens at the end of the campaign. Don't actually do that. I don't think I told him exactly, but
I was wondering about that. I was like, how much should you reveal to Lane if he's able to, on coming back? How does that change things? How does that change things for you?
it doesn't. It'll make sense. It'll make sense after the end of this adventure.
I still feel like I don't understand everything.
You'll have a much better idea of what's happening after the end of this current adventure when you level up next time. Or I guess that depends on if I give you a level after you beat the mid boss. Can you guess what the mid boss is gonna be?
Is it gonna be like a giant rat made of a bunch of different tiny rats?
The comically large singular rat.
I can tell you with certainty that it will not be that.
Is it gonna be a person we know?
Allison.
Callison, definitely. Callison will be the mid boss.
Well-
how'd you figure it out?
It's not gonna be Callison, but it's gonna be the body.
It's gonna be Odin's dad.
It's gonna be Odin.
Yeah.
I think y'all are giving my dad too much credit. he's
not a combatant. He would be like, he wouldn't be level 1, but
He's making a nuke, okay? You just don't see it. He's already made it.
I think any one of the party members could beat him in combat.
I would put you, Joe Felix, with that gift, but I would, Grim, you can, disagree with me if you want to, but I'd totally put Edmond on the level with Oppenheimer or Einstein, creatively speaking, intellectually speaking.
Yeah.
No, the GIF was for the atomic bomb. So we're talking earlier.
Yeah.
Alright, well, goodbye, everybody.
There's a new Skywind gameplay demo.
Oh my
so
god,
I'm
Grim,
getting out of
shut
here.
up. We're trying to leave, okay?
I just posted it in the video.
Yeah,
John.
yeah, I'm gonna go watch that. Y'all have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.
Ugh. There it goes.